All right, so welcome back, everyone. So on the line now from the United States, we do have CEO of Paterson Aerospace Systems, Space Engineer Kaylon Paterson. On May 16th, he became the fourth Trinbagonian to fly at zero gravity. He's here to tell us about his experience. Kaylon, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
We're good. Well, Kaylon, now from what I'm reading here, you have achieved all of this at the age of 29, you know. So, Kaylon, before we speak about zero gravity and you being the fourth Trinbagonian to do this, let's speak a little bit about the journey for you.
Sure. Yeah, so I guess my whole journey up until now was, going to school in Trinidad up until secondary school, finishing up at Fatima, deciding that I wanted to be an aerospace engineer, and then going off to the U.S. to study for a very long time. That journey took me from undergrad in math through studying on a fellowship in Germany, and then coming back to the U.S., finishing up my master's here. Then I got a job at the Space Force, worked there for a few years, got a second master's degree, and decided to really go full time into my company efforts, developing this technology that we flew on that flight.
Yeah. But Kaylon, so is it that it was in Trinidad and Tobago, or maybe at school here, that you fell in love with aerospace?
Yes, absolutely. So when I was preparing for CXC, actually, I was spending a lot of time in the public library in Port of Spain, and I started to kind of venture out beyond the books that I was studying from to look at what other physics textbooks were there. And I found a pair of physics encyclopedias that I just fell in love with for some weird reason, and decided that, this might be where my life belongs, honestly.
Yeah. But Kaylon, I'm just thinking all of this you're achieving at the age of 29. Where was your time for entertainment and to have a lime and to spend time with friends? Because I think that sometimes we forget that there's this side too, where you have to, it's a mixture of everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did hit 30 this year, but definitely finding that time was a challenge. I'm very passionate about what I do, but I also, have parents that reminded me every day that I should, take a step back from studying every now and then and enjoy my life. So I didn't have the greatest of social lives, but I definitely, I had spent time out, partying, enjoying my experiences as I was going, a lot of traveling in between, and just taking advantage of opportunities that came up.
Yeah. And Kaylon, while I'm speaking to you, I'm thinking about the sky is the limit, but for you, I don't know if that is true for you. The sky is absolutely not the limit. What has this experience been for you being at zero gravity?
So it definitely, reminded me of why I'm doing this, right? This is a part of what I wanted to experience as an aerospace engineer, this and beyond, of course. So as you mentioned, the sky not being the limit, I'm hoping that space could be my limit, maybe even the moon someday, and being able to kind of see what else is out there in the universe would be really where I would like to take the rest of my experience, my life, and my work with my company.
Yeah. But what was the experience itself like? Because I'm sure that was your first experience at zero gravity. So what was that experience like?
So I would say that is exactly what you think flying would feel like. And that's the best way that I could put it. You could compare it to being kind of suspended in water, or even when you're at the beach and you get hit by a wave or two and you feel yourself kind of bob up and down in the water. It feels like that. It feels like weightlessness, but it feels like freedom from the earthly constraints that we're used to. Yeah. I think the best way to describe it is whatever you think like flying would feel like is exactly what that experience was like.
Yeah, because I know that some people in the past have become very, very emotional. Some people think about life. Some people think about God. It's really a life-changing event. Did it have that sort of impact on you?
Absolutely. I think for me it was more about alignment with where I saw my life going. So that's kind of what I felt. I think everybody on that flight with me couldn't stop laughing the whole time because it was just the joy of experiencing something that nobody ever thought that they would experience, firstly. And secondly, this idea of like your life goals aligning, because most of us are from the aerospace industry, and everybody in this industry wants to go to space someday. So even having the ability to do this, at least this one step, was just serendipity and all these other things, and it just felt right. We like just if you whenever the videos come out, you'll see. But it was just everybody was smiling the whole time. There wasn't a sad face in the crowd. Honestly, it was just a really joyful experience.
And I think that people can really understand what you're saying, because it would seem that you would have spent your entire life, right, in trying to achieve this. And it's not to say that you don't have other things to achieve, because you'll be speaking about visiting the moon one day, maybe Mars. You never know, right? Visiting the space station, you don't know. But it's a lot of work that would have gone into this to achieve this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, there's always future goals, there's always other things, but it's also important to enjoy the moment that you're in, right? And that was something we were reminded of when we were preparing for this experience, that, yes, you want to get the perfect pictures and videos, you want to focus on your experiment, but you also want to take advantage of the fact that this might be a once in a lifetime thing that you're doing. So, like halfway through the flight, I kind of just put away my phone and just kind of focused on experience and where I was. And, I reminded a few other people that were doing it that they also should do the same, just so that they could really take this all in. Because you never know. I may never do this again. I may never make it to space, but at least, I had this one experience to really hone in and enjoy.
Yeah. Kaylon, you feel that, let me put it this way, because you're the fourth Trinbagonian to do this. You feel that sort of responsibility, or you feel that level of weight on your shoulders that, yes, I am a Trinbagonian and I'm achieving this, but it's not only for me, it's for all of us in Trinidad and Tobago and maybe all over the Caribbean. You feel that level of responsibility?
100%. Every day that I do my job, every day that I go out into my field and represent myself, I'm also representing where I came from. And I remind people of that every step of the way, because, there are a lot of Trinidadian people and Caribbean people in the aerospace industry, but we don't often get the opportunity to talk about where we come from in this, because you have to be within this industry, you have to be representing whatever country you're in the industry. And so for me, it will be the US. For some people, it will be a European nation. And you're representing that nation when you do your work. But we don't often get the chance to stand up and say, well, I was born and raised in Trinidad, and I got here from there. And, this is my life experience. This was my journey. So this was one of those moments where I got to fly the flag, so to speak, and really express that joy and show that, okay, it's not just for people from these other nations, but it can be anybody. It could be somebody from Trinidad, that comes up after me. It could be somebody from Guyana or any of these other nations that make it this far. It's not impossible. And that was the biggest weight on my shoulder, is to know that I can show people from home and from the Caribbean that they can do this too.
Yeah. Anything is possible, Kaylon. Kaylon, what's the next step for you?
Next step for me is to actually get our experiment into space. I've mentioned before that I have applied to be an astronaut, so I don't know when that will ever come to fruition, but I am praying on it and hoping that it will come true one day. So yeah.
Kaylon, anything you'd like to say to your friends and family who may be looking at you this morning?
Definitely
Seeing you?
well, of course, I love to all my family back home in Trinidad for sure. And then also, a great thanks to my team who was there to make this all happen, to make sure this experiment flew and responded the way it needed to. And a special shout out to our media and marketing person at Brownie Communications. Natasha Brown, she has been phenomenal in getting us here. So I really appreciate that too. Thank you.
Yeah. Kaylon, congratulations to you. And I can tell you this morning that you have made all of us very, very proud. Yeah? You know the song, Proud Trini? Yeah. That's what we're feeling this morning. So bye for now, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Yeah?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, man, have a good day.
Okay.
Take care.
You too. All right. So do have this for you. Silver Lining of Clouds from Ashmead. Ashmead, a very special good morning. We're coming back, everybody.